good morning. Welcome back, everyone. We are doing a new video on our old asset, Ethereum. There's a lot of things going on this that I think you guys should really focus and pay attention on, because this is like a cheat code, or I mean, this is for your advantage. If you know what you're doing, if you pay attention, you're gonna make money. So open your eyes, turn off all your bullshit distractions, focus, pay attention. Let's move forward. If you have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to trade with me live, feel free to join the Discord server. Link to the server is in the description of this video below, alongside all the other affiliate services that I use and recommend that helps this channel grow. So thank you guys so much. Just heads up, I have the flu. I am literally dying in like 90-degree weather here on the island. So please excuse my coughing, my wheezy noise, and my weird voice. I apologize. It's something we're going to have to deal with for this video. The one main important thing for this week. This week, the Federal Reserve is going to be making its decision on Wednesday at 2 p.m. What is the importance of that? Everything on Dixie, the dollar index, is going to play out on that day, as well as the rest of the market. Now, you saw Friday we tanked due to Iran and Israel starting their war. We are opening up in a very bullish posture on a Monday morning, while knowing the Fed is going to be giving its interest rate decision while the war is in the fourth day of its continuation. Why is the market rolling up? It looks like we're testing into our levels of resistances, which I can show you on Solana and Ethereum. And if those resistances hold, we will be putting in those local tops into the monthly close, and we will be looking for a pullback. And all that pullback will probably start on Wednesday after the Federal Reserve releases their decision, and then the market will consolidate accordingly to that prediction and future moves that the Fed is going to dictate with its dot plot. So be aware of all that moving forward. Here is Ethereum. We are actually bouncing off the support here at 23.35. Ethereum is above the 25.72. We need the month to close above 25.72, 2600. As long as we close the month above that in 15 days, we are looking for continuation into the next level of resistance, probably into 33 to 3500 into July, depending on if everything goes smooth with the Fed. Now, the reason why I said that we're going into resistances, when I turn on the doodles that we have from previous videos, everything will start making sense as to why I'm looking for this. Another thing is, as we're going to the top, you have lower volume, meaning we are starting to do bearish divergence into wicks. You're getting wicks on the top into the level of resistance where we broke down. So 3 things of confluence saying that, hey, this little head and shoulder situation can formulate and play out to the downside if other things start lining up, like the Fed not cutting, and then war and more risk off mentality because things are not progressing nicely in the other side of the world, etc. So be aware of that. Now I'm gonna step us down. Well, here I can show you the doodles real quick. This is the doodles. You can't really see what's going on. The main thing is, hey, as long as we're above the retail money line, upside continuation. We had one opportunity to buy underneath it. Whoever bought it at 14 to 1500, congratulations. You're in nice profit. You're in $1,000 plus gain profit. But you can see the red tops over here. Here's the level of resistance: 28.23, 31.25, and 24.37 as like the bottom. So as long as we're above 2500, we can look to get into 28. But until we get above 28, there is no 31. I'm going to show you this on the lower time frames. Here's the lower time frames. We're on the weekly time frame, okay? We had a very nice bullish break up the top, but that volume was immediately rejected with a sell-off. Now, the main thing is the sell-off actually acted as support. We are above 24.70 whatever, and as long as we're above it, upside continuation is occurring, basically. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. I'm going to delete these doodles, which we had on the daily time frame, because we were looking for a little bit of a inverse head and shoulder pullback for us to get onto that long trend and up, right? But what's happening? All this is getting delayed. So I'm moving that here, as a possibility. This does not need to come to the downside. Why I'm saying that that is a possibility is because when we're going sideways like this, we're building a lot of liquidity underneath us. Let's do it like that. We're building a lot of liquidity underneath us. You see like this level right here around 2200 has a lot of stop losses. Mainly the stop losses are right here around 2400. If you get a sweep under 2400, it will basically liquidate all these people who went long, probably on leverage, looking for upside break. But 2800 is resistance right now. We can't really get above it for some reason, and it's probably because there's someone with a massive order above there trying to take profits. Let me do that. So all I'm doing right now is just moving everything to the side, and that is for the measured move. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. If the Fed says any nonsense tomorrow, and we come back into this 2800 and we don't break above it, well, this is where we're going to do our rejection. And it's going to be a lower high, because if we can't get above 2800, it will be a lower high because this previous one is above 2800. All right, so all it's going to do is a dead cat bounce into the level of resistance and then just roll down to take all the liquidity from over leveraged longs, like so. And then you could look for the breakout above that level of resistance to take out the liquidity later, once liquidity is gathered up, hopefully in this range right here. We don't want it to go too much lower than that. Okay, so that is how I'm looking at Ethereum, because I know everyone is looking at it like this, right? This is the inverse head and shoulder. We broke out. Technically, this is Wyckoff, right? This is wave 1. This right here that we're doing is wave 2. Okay? Wave 3 is going to be a massive short squeeze. That's what we're hoping and looking for with the Fed decision, with hopefully a 1% cut, because we did not cut the 2 meetings, and that's why euro is doing better than dollar, is because we have basically held steady for 2 Fed meetings, and the Europe actually decided to cut. So this is what I'm waiting to see. Can we do this and do the wave 3 here? Let's do the condition. If what is that, 2500 weekly close is held naturally, 2800 liquidity short squeeze to almost, I want to say, the short squeeze is coming to 3130 to 3130, and then almost, what, 39, then to 3900. 3900 is a shorting op. And that's how I will basically establish this rule. So if the weekly close is above 2500 and we just are dilly-dallying over here, like this head and shoulder that people probably are seeing, yes, this can play out. Okay, yes, this can play out. This head and shoulder can play out, but it's going to be Wednesday with Fed meeting or a war escalation, etc., etc., etc. If, you know what, I'm going to remove this channel. We don't need that channel because it's just distraction. We don't need all this bullshit. We don't need all this. Okay, this is the risk. This is the white channel. This is the risk right here. This will be the orange. This BS, just remove all this. Price action will go from here. If it's bullish, it will come right here, find support, and then break out into this level over here. That's the bullish case if you guys are looking for the short squeeze scenario. So the blue is a short squeeze. Okay. Okay. Let's do this again. If 2500 weekly closes, they'll naturally 28 liquidity short squeeze to 3100. Blue line. Whoever's in Chicago understands blue line, red line. 3900 is just shorting out. Under 2500 weekly close, Wednesday daily close under 2500. Orange path and green OB retest of support. And that's how that's going to probably play out in my opinion. So depending on Wednesday, if everything is good on Wednesday, we should be looking to get to 2800 and above. Like Fed is going to lower interest rates. Government already, M2 supply is increasing, guys. If you have not already been aware, M2 money supply has been increasing steadily, almost as much as like '08 and so right now there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that probably not everyone is aware of, but M2 supply is increasing. Once we lower interest rates, it's going to start the ball rolling for upside continuation and stuff. So when money's supply is increasing, guys, all the money usually ends back up in the markets, okay? And that's how that equity grows over time. So as the U.S. prints, that money is going back in the stock market. It's not going into anywhere other than the top 500 U.S. companies. Yeah, so just I don't want to get too much into that. If you're a trader, you already know this stuff. So that's the point I'm trying to say. Above 2,800, you get to go to the moon. Underneath 2,400, you go to, possibly this level right here, 22, and then under. And that is how I'm looking at ETH. And it's very, very clean right now, too. So the likelihood of us going to the downside is pretty low due to the liquidity and the amount of money that was spent here. More than likely, the short squeeze action will happen and then a rollover. No matter what the Fed does, the liquidity right now is built to the downside, yes, but that could be a downside dump, quick short squeeze right after that. Let me show you. We can get a reaction like this, very, very short, and then just straight up, because retail will probably make the wrong trade. So if they hear good news tomorrow, they'll try to pump, right? But market's probably going to go down on them and then pump. If the news is bad and market goes down, it will be a buying opportunity for the rich, and then they just going to pump it up. So it's like, really, retail is going to lose no matter what. 95% of retail traders lose, okay? Be patient and wait and watch what the real money is doing. Excuse me. Everything I was showing you right now is at resistance. And why I was using Ethereum as an example, Ethereum already did its complete destruction dive. This is its coming back to retest this level of resistance, and this resistance is about to flip into support, guys. Okay, this was support before, flipped into resistance here. Now it's back into support, hopefully. And if that is, then this is going to be the low of this entire bull cycle. And then we're going to be trying to gun for this $4,000 top. And I already told you above 31, above 25, we're looking for 28, and then 31, and then, 39. These are all realistic numbers. I'm not just pulling numbers out of my behind. These are all very, very logical and realistic numbers. Oops. And you can see on a weekly, this already looks like it consolidated. It had plenty of opportunities to go to the downside, but the EMA is holding its support and it's angling up. Pretty soon, this candle will short squeeze up, and this yellow line will make a golden cross above this 2400, 2442 level, and this will mark the low of this cycle, and you will see us just expand up, 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 up. And more than likely, it's going to get above this high here, above 5,000. ETH is a worthwhile asset, okay? So that's all I got to say about ETH. Quick sneak peek, and I'm going to play devil's advocate on this. Why I'm looking at a possible downside is because on altcoins, we're hitting the level of resistance, and the yellow line is above. If the yellow line gets under the green, then you're going to get an impulse to the downside to find some support around 125 and then above. Here are the doodles. Let's go to a lower time frame, daily. And this is what I'm looking at right here. I want price action above 161. If we find resistance at 161, then this little, whatever this fake head and shoulder, will try to gun down and get some more liquidity around 121.30. But you can see this upside rise, and this right here is a bull flag. In my opinion, this is a bull flag, and this is going to gun up like this. Now, I know for a fact there's two companies that I am invested in my IRA in stocks. Both of them are stockpiling Solana in their treasury. One of them just got a loan for $5 billion. The company's only worth $500 million. Got a loan for $5 billion, and they are basically going to buy Solana and put it in their treasury nonstop. Another company is worth $100 million, and they got a $500 million loan, basically to do the same thing, which is buy the spot of Solana, put it in their treasury, and earn passive income by staking it. Now, like I said in my previous videos, either you can buy Solana and buy the supply with them and do what they're doing, or you could buy the shares and let them inflate the shares by doing whatever they do with their stocks, okay? Like, that's just how the stock market works. It usually goes up, and it's by them printing more shares, more people buying it. So, excuse me. So that's something that I'm aware of. I was looking for some further downside. You can even move this up over here. Like, hey, if it wants to roll over, that's the place to roll over. Excuse me. So it has to decide what it wants to do right now. And all this other stuff, we can remove it. We don't even need this channel unless it actually breaks back down into this channel. This was the accumulation triangle. So whoever watched the end of Ethereum, they got the sneak peek. And you saw this measured move. This measured move got front run right around here, around 160, or sorry, 97. So this measured move is still a possibility. And if it doesn't happen and we get a higher low, oops, maybe right there. So right now, it's all up in here, and it's doing what it's supposed to. So right there. So let's see if we can break out of this level of resistance, which is 161. 161 breaks on Solana. I'm looking for it to go to 190. If we get Solana to break above 160 and go to 170, 180, I will make like insane gains because all my IRA right now is in options. And the ticker is like 20 cents away from my strike price. And my strike is in December. So I'm basically in it for the next 4 or 5 months. Wait a minute. Yeah, so I'm in it for the next 4 or 5 months. And usually when I trade options, guys, the trick with options is try to look for your strike and whatnot above 3 months, above 90 days. All the algos and quants and stuff, they can't really rationalize or predict past 90 days. So it's to your advantage that if you can, try to go and get those premiums outside of that because they have not priced it properly yet. If you know what you're doing and you can get that advantage, it's to your advantage. It is very, very, very much to your advantage. As a technical analysis trader, I know my levels, right? With options, all I have to do is time when the impulse is like, say I'm looking for a pivot. I'm looking for this pivot. Well, I could have sold a bunch of call options, and then over here, I mean, I could have sold a bunch of puts, and I could have bought a bunch of calls over here, right? I don't need to be a trader of like, oh, I need to get at 106 or blah blah blah. No, at this point in these last 2 weeks, I could have bought calls, and I could have just been patient for a month or two, knowing that, hey, from this level, I'm looking for this level. Well, I could have got it at 160, and we did test into 190, which is the level of the lower high for them to re-short. That's why that level was so important. That's what we're looking for Ethereum to do, is test into 3,900. And if 3,900 don't break, it's going to roll over just like Solana did. So that's the gist that I want to give you guys. I hope I answered as many questions as I have created. I hope this helps you guys out moving forward. If you guys have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comment section below, and I will get back to you in the next one. Aside from that, guys, hope you have a great day. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great Father's Day. Trade safe. Be aware Wednesday is the main day this week, and more than likely will float up into that day because people will not be trading. It'll be low volume environment where the price is just floating up into levels of resistance, and then you'll see major moves of impulse with volume coming in, because that's the real guy. Like right now, it's retail doing nothing. When the real player comes, you will see their footprint. It's really hard to hide that kind of money. So have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, press the bell button for notification. If you're interested in trading with me live, feel free to join the Discord server. Link to the server is in the description of this video below, alongside all the other affiliate services that I use and recommend that helps this channel grow. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day, and talk to you soon. Adios.